In a quiet, picturesque village nestled among green rolling hills, there lived a woman named Layla. She was a widow, a mother to three young daughters, and a caretaker to two orphaned children from her late sister. Despite her small stature and delicate frame, Layla carried the weight of the world on her shoulders. Her home was a humble clay house with a thatched roof that barely kept out the rain. Every morning before the sun rose, Layla lit her old wood-fired oven and began baking bread. She kneaded the dough with hands worn by years of labor, her fingers cracked and rough from the endless cycles of mixing, shaping, and baking. The bread was her only source of income, and every loaf she sold in the village market was a step closer to survival for her family. Life in the village was far from easy. Layla's daughters, Amina, Salma, and Noor, were her greatest treasures, but their lives were marked by hardship. Amina, the eldest at 14, took on the role of a second mother. She woke up early to help with chores, fetched water from the well, and often skipped school to assist Layla at the market. Salma, only 10, dreamed of becoming a teacher, but had to study by candlelight, her books borrowed and tattered. Noor, the youngest at 6, was too young to understand the weight her family carried, but often offered her bright smile to lighten their spirits. On some days, Layla returned home from the market with unsold bread. The villagers were kind but poor themselves, and not everyone could afford to buy her loaves. On those nights, the family ate what was left, a hard, crusty reminder of their struggles, and Layla would quietly skip her portion to ensure the children went to bed with full stomachs. One winter, a storm swept through the village, leaving many homes damaged, including Layla's. The roof of her small house leaked, and the cold seeped in through the cracks in the walls. Layla and her daughters worked tirelessly to patch the damage with scraps of wood and plastic sheeting. When the village carpenter offered to help, Layla humbly paid him with freshly baked bread instead of money. Another time, Noor fell ill with a high fever. Layla had no money for a doctor, so she walked miles in the rain to gather herbs from the forest, relying on remedies her mother had taught her. She stayed up all night nursing Noor back to health, whispering prayers and stories to soothe her youngest child. One day, a traveler passing through the village noticed Layla's bread stand at the market. He was a food blogger from the city and was struck by the aroma and taste of her bread. He shared her story on his platform, calling her bread a symbol of resilience and love. To Layla's surprise, people began traveling from nearby towns to buy her bread. Orders poured in, and with the help of her daughters, Layla expanded her small operation. Amina returned to school, Salma received a scholarship for her studies, and Noor finally had warm clothes to wear in winter. Layla's story reminds us that even in the face of relentless hardship, love and perseverance can light the way. She taught her daughters the value of hard work, selflessness, and hope, a legacy far richer than gold. Today, the villagers speak of Layla as the woman who not only fed them with her bread, but also with her unwavering spirit. Her story, shared online, touched the hearts of millions, proving that even the smallest acts of love can create ripples of change. As Layla's bread business flourished, she used her newfound income to make life better, not only for her family, but also for the villagers who had supported her in her darkest times. She began teaching other women in the village how to bake bread and manage small businesses. For many, this was their first step toward financial independence. Layla's daughters played a crucial role in this transformation. Amina started organizing workshops for the village children, teaching them basic literacy and mathematics in her free time. Salma, inspired by her mother's hard work, began writing essays about life in the village and sent them to newspapers, hoping to bring attention to the struggles of rural communities. Noor, the youngest, spent her days laughing and playing with the other children, her innocent joy a reminder of how far they had come. One day, Layla was invited to the city to share her story at a community event. Nervous but determined, she stood before a crowd of strangers and spoke about her journey, how she turned flour and water into hope for her family. Her words moved the audience to tears, and many offered to support her efforts. With the help of donations and partnerships, Layla opened a small bakery in the village. It wasn't just a bakery. It became a hub of learning and community. Women from nearby villages came to train, and the bakery soon employed several villagers, providing them with steady incomes. Layla's story continued to spread, reaching people far beyond her small village. A filmmaker who heard about her journey decided to create a documentary highlighting her life. The documentary captured the struggles, triumphs, and unshakable spirit of Layla and her family, inspiring millions worldwide. Soon, Layla received letters from people around the globe, thanking her for showing them the power of perseverance. Her story became a symbol of resilience, proving that even the smallest acts of kindness and determination could create ripples of change that reach far and wide. Years later, Layla stepped back from the bakery, passing the responsibility to her daughters. Amina became a teacher, fulfilling her dream of educating the next generation. Salma pursued a career in journalism, using her platform to advocate for rural communities. Noor, now grown, managed the bakery, ensuring her mother's legacy of love and generosity continued. Layla spent her days teaching younger women the art of bread making, just as she had once taught her daughters. Sitting in the shade of a tree near her home, she often reflected on her journey, the hardships, the sacrifices, and the incredible blessings that had come her way. Her story wasn't just about bread, it was about hope, courage, and the unyielding belief that even in the darkest moments, a single spark of determination could light the way for an entire community. Years later, Layla's village transformed into a vibrant community, thriving in ways no one had imagined. The bakery she started became a symbol of hope, and people from neighboring villages visited to witness how one woman's determination sparked change. On her 60th birthday, the villagers organized a surprise celebration. They gathered at the bakery, now adorned with colorful decorations and a sign that read, "Where love and bread build dreams." Her daughters presented her with a handmade book filled with letters from villagers, customers, and even strangers from across the world who were touched by her story. Layla's eyes welled with tears as she flipped through the pages. In that moment, she realized her journey was more than just her own. It was a story of how love, sacrifice, and faith could transform not just a family, but an entire community. Surrounded by her daughters, grandchildren, and the people whose lives she had impacted, Layla smiled. Her struggles had turned into triumphs, her pain into purpose, and her humble bread into a lasting legacy. As she gazed at the sunset over her village, Layla whispered, "What started with bread has become so much more than I ever dreamed."
Thank you all for following the channel. Stay tuned for new and inspiring stories and don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Thank you all.